I am Dr. Jim Bostic, and today I want to talk about the topic of suicide and mental illness. When we look across the spectrum, particularly in more recent times, more and more we are seeing people that are taking their life at alarming rates. Recently, we have seen two of our nation's most notable citizens take their life by suicide. People who have achieved great levels of success, people who have seemingly had everything going for themselves, but yet something in their mental state of mind determined that their life was no longer worth living. Too many of our citizens, even our children in our public schools, are infected with some form of mental illness, and we have seen the signs, but we overlook the signs. We turn away from them. We classify them as something else. We say, oh, they're having a bad day, or that's just who they are. But in effect, it's mental illness that is going unaddressed. In our public schools, our social workers, our school psychiatrists are now being taken away because there is a lack of funding to provide support services in our public schools. And so when we see these children that are have indications of some form of mental illness, we don't even have the public resources to provide these children with services to address those needs. So we need to begin as a nation to take a very hard look at our suicide rate in this country and our mental illness problem in America, and see how they are interconnected, and that usually when someone who takes their life, there's something with them inside of them mentally that says their life is not worth living, but it didn't just start at the moment that they committed suicide. There have always been signs that friends have seen, signs that loved ones have seen, signs that co-workers have seen, and we've turned a blind eye to what ultimately became a serious mental illness problem that oftentimes led to suicide. So I, as Executive Director of Neppahan Community Center, are working very hard to those who we serve and to the staff in my agency, that when we see signs of mental illness, to begin to alert parents and staff and find ways to ensure that those persons are getting the needed services to address that mental illness before it turns into somebody who wants to take their life, or worse, somebody who decides that they want to take the lives of others in a school, in a community, and other places. Mental illness is not a negative stigma. It's no different than any other illness that we have in our bodies, but it is one, for whatever reason, that we've attached words like crazy and retarded and all of these negative terminologies we've attached to having mental illness. It is not. It means that there is a problem in the way a person thinks or sees life or whatever the case may be, and they need attention just as any other sickness or disease in your body needs medical attention. In closing, let me say that we need to turn our attention to people within our communities, schools, businesses, even elected officials that are indicating signs of mental illness, and try to get them the help they need before something catastrophic happens to that person. Thank you.